He goes here, we stood on that stage and campaigned across the nation and are certainly willing to take the punches where they are warranted and deserved. Like, where does he think they're ever, I would love to know he was like, what are the few times when you think, yeah, fair enough, we deserve that shot.
Yeah, you are right. I do give too much money to charity.
Yeah. If you want to have a go at my legendary love of cashews, you have at it.
So he goes, the double standard, however, is nothing short of glaring. Again, like such an awful sentence.
Nothing
the double
short of
standard,
glaring.
however, is nothing short of glaring.
Say glaring.
This double standard is glaring.
Yeah.
Like
That's punchier. It's more powerful.
Like classic, like stupid person
Yes,
writing.
exactly.
Where you
More
try
words,
to
the smarter.
you try to make something sound complicated because you think it's like pithy. Where you're just like, by all terms of the debate, it is clearest to all that I am the winner.
Yeah. That's like where every time you write dialogue, you have to go to do a thesaurus for for something that's like a synonym for said, interjected,
right?
Yeah, exclaimed.
You have providenced upon the happenstance that we are both in, yet only one of us will walk out of this predicament inside of a quagmire.
It would be a waste of print to recount every smear, hit piece, and invasion of privacy my family has faced. But allow me to sum it up by highlighting an article published by Forbes and reposted in virtually every major news outlet attacking a charity that I started when I was 20 years old. Oh, wait, I'm clicking through here to see what this attack was.
Yeah, they were funneling money through his charity.
New filing shows Eric Trump raised millions, lied about his foundation's expenses.
Yeah, no, it's a money laundering operation.
Okay. So he goes, a charity I started when I was 20. In less than 10 years, I raised more than $20 million for terminally ill children at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital.
He's a liar. He's lying. No, they used it to funnel money through.
I maintained just over a 9% cumulative expense ratio, one of the lowest expense ratios of any charity in the nation.
Damn.
And funded the construction of one of the most cutting-edge intensive care units and surgery centers dedicated to children.
Word.
The Eric Trump Foundation Intensive Care Unit treats some of the sickest children in the world, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And
that would be a really shitty hospital if they were just off on weekends. Like, you'd be so stupid that you brag about that.
Yeah.
A lot of hospitals, they're just what a shock. They're always celebrating 4-day weekends.
You got to have your 4 walls. We have all of those.
Yet I was viciously chastised by the Democrats and the media who relentlessly tried to manufacture stories about me, my mission, and my... What are you, Mormon? What the fuck?
Eric solid Trump, snake?
Select difficulty for Eric Trump campaign.
Story mode. Yeah. At the same time, the Clinton Foundation controversy was in full swing, and the media knew that it could use me as their punching bag to distract from one of their own. I mean, fair enough about the Clinton Foundation.
Of course.
An absolute just festering sore of just like unspeakable exploitation and criminal. We're like just scratching the surface of what they did in Haiti. Is like
best case situation, you're dealing with just a monstrous fraud and bribery scheme on an international level. Worst case, you're talking some fucking Pizzagate is real type shit.
Right. That I do love how both their bullshit foundations mirror the exact values of both families. Like the Clintons is like a murky influence peddling tax dodge that like probably had like at least some people who worked for it had some role in sex trafficking, and the Trump thing is just like a way for them to buy more paintings of themselves.
Yes, that is
perfect.
Exactly
it's
correct.
Perfect.
It's amazing. One of them is just this sad penny ante thing of like cutting the heads off of fucking parking meters.
It is so funny. Like,
and then she's got an international cabal.
No, it's funny. Like, exactly. The low stakes of what the Trumps do to like launder their public image is like, so they just want a charity where they can show up on a whim and get photographed next to a bald child.
Yes.
Whereas like the Clintons have set up this like international like Leviathan, like just black box, like octopus that has its tentacles and like every like a
drug
nation,
trafficking,
like a nation
trafficking.
Destroyed by one of the worst earthquakes and humanitarian efforts ever.
Organ harvesting.
And like again, it is just this giant black box of just evil, and like money goes in one end and we don't even know what comes out the other end.
Yeah.
But it certainly isn't like children.
No,
one way or the other.
Some of them are children. But it's not good.
Yeah, and the Trump thing is just literally like, oh my God, Dad's gonna let me drive a limo to the hospital.
No, he said when Felix said the thing about getting pictures of themselves, that wasn't a joke.
That's literally
one of the things that happened is that Trump solicited a donation from someone else to his foundation. And then at a charity auction, there was a painting of Trump, and he won the bid and paid for it with the foundation's money.
That's deals.
He had this guy's donation laundered in the form of a fucking painting of himself.
So he goes here, one might say it comes with the territory, and that is absolutely true. As a Trump, I'm held to an incredibly high public standard, and I have lived an exceptionally clean and honest life with that in mind. But can you imagine if they were willing to try and destroy a kid, just a kid from New York, destroy a kid who dedicated his life to pediatric cancer and philanthropy, what the media would say if I had secured a $50,000 a month job on the board of a Ukrainian company with no discernible duties in an industry I knew nothing about.
You're too stupid to even pull that grip.
Yes.
Like Hunter went like.
Do you think Eric Trump knows anything about any of the businesses or cancer research or even real estate in New York City?
We saw a day in his work day. A bunch of people below him move him around and steer him to the decision they've already made.
A big part of that Trump documentary was him showing off one of the Trump properties, which is like a vineyard/hotel resort in California. And just the people who work there walk him around the vineyard and show them how they make wine. And he's like, wow, great stuff.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Like
hands-on.
Hunter worked Hunter obviously doesn't know anything about any of that shit. But to get in that position, he worked way harder than Eric ever has.
Oh, God.
While smoking crack.
As we've said, the heart it took for him to walk into Skid Row in L.A., get a gun put to his head to score crack, and then to go back again and again. Compare that to whatever the fucking Trump kids have done.
None a life of callow.
Have the heart to do anything like that.
Yeah.
They could walk up to a tiger that's been chained to a tree and sedated and blow its brains out. That's what they can do.
Yeah, they literally cry about articles being written about them. Meanwhile, like Hunter has been the biggest national news story, and everyone in America is like, Joe Biden's kid is a crackhead, and he's like, whatever you fucking throw at me, I will come back 10 times stronger.
Yep. He's not writing a book called Trigger Silencing Liberals Being Mean to Me.
Like in all of Hunter Biden's difficulties and struggles in life, has he ever killed a fucking elephant, murdered basically like a conscious living being just for fun?
Hunter probably has saved elephants.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even remember it.
So he goes here, to make the hypothetical picture sufficiently vivid. This is where he goes in on Hunter. So Felix, just like restrain yourself. Like,
say whatever the fuck you want about me, Eric. You go into my homie Hunter. Okay.
So he goes here to make the hypothetical picture. Again, to make the hypothetical picture. The word picture there is totally like not necessary.
Not necessary.
Clippy killed himself.
Hypothetical is
yes.
It's a picture. You fucking dullard.
Clippy fucking hung himself while this was being written.
To make the hypothetical picture sufficiently vivid.
Idiot.
Also imagine that I had previously been kicked out of the United States Naval Reserve after testing positive for cocaine, or was given a contract potentially worth $1.5 billion by China weeks after traveling to Beijing with my father aboard Air Force Two. I worked hard to raise millions of dollars for dying children, and yet crickets from the media and weekly parodies on Saturday Night Live.
I always think like Saturday Night Live is the lamest shit in the world who could get a rise out of this, and it's like, no, the Trumps are like actually upset by it.
They're
somehow.
furious.
Yeah.
The funny thing is if satire is about afflicting the comfortable, no satire in history has ever directly annoyed the direct subject of it more than Saturday Night Live, which makes it, in some like qualitative sense, the greatest satire of all time, if you think about it.
And literally, it's the best.
So he says, for the record, I do not know exactly what Hunter Biden did or did not do in Ukraine, in China.
Yeah, then shut the fuck up about him. How about that?
Or elsewhere. There are plenty of other controversies that measure below the dignity and character of this article to regurgitate. Below the dignity and character of this article.
This article.
He didn't say below the dignity of my dignity or character, or below the dignity and character of thehill.com, which would be hilarious. Thehill.com famously for publishing anything.
Right, yeah.
So like there is nothing below the dignity and character of the Hill, but he just said no. This article. He meant
that cannot have that character.
He's describing dignity and character to the Word document he typed this on.
Amazing.
He goes,
I used to think Don Jr. was the dumbest. No, it's him.
I do not like to give people the benefit. He goes, I do like to give people the benefit of the doubt, since that courtesy is so seldom bestowed upon me and my family.
This is so, like, it's like classic, like, I'm the most abused man in history.
Just a
but
whiny fucking dork.
But also, like, all these things he clearly saw, like, he's picked these up. He didn't read these. He heard them from, like, a scene in Law and Order where a judge is sentencing somebody. Like, he'd never heard the word seldom in his life, even. Like,
one thing, however, is absolutely certain. If the situation were reversed, I would have been front page news in every newspaper, online publication.
The situation has been reversed.
But, like, I mean, this Joe Biden thing, like, has been front page news.
Well, beyond that, he has been in the same position as Biden in terms of being in a position where he is leveraging his father's political position for private gain. He's been doing that since the first day of Trump's administration. So it's like, if I was doing it, no, he is doing it, and it isn't a story. So he's, like, proven incorrect.
So he goes here, reporters would be camping outside my door. My family would have been picked apart. My name would have been smeared in the news every single week. And my father arguably would not even be president of the United States today. Oh God, don't make us even imagine what that would be like.
Can you imagine?
And he goes, here, okay, last few paragraphs. This is the gold here. I do not always agree with Bill Maher, but the late night host was honest enough to admit that if my brother or I had done what Hunter Biden did, it would be all Rachel Maddow was talking about. I do not know what he learned while growing up as a Biden, but if what we knew about his life indicates anything, it is that there are different rules if you are the son of a powerful Democratic politician. Money grows on trees. There are no rules, and the press will always cover for you if it benefits the political left.
Isn't that like the entire biography of his father?
Yes.
There are no rules. Everything works out for you.
Money does literally grow on trees.
Money grows on trees. It's like you just open the door and here's another giant check from someone who wants to, like, launder, fentanyl proceeds or something.
So he goes here. Then finally, this is the best part. To quote the great Marcus Aurelius from The Gladiator, your faults as a son are my failures as a father. I owe all of my work ethic, character, integrity, and moral fiber to my father. Hunter Biden can say the same.
he got so much done in that sense. Like, uncharacteristically, he accomplished a lot.
So, this is so fucking good. To quote the great Marcus Aurelius from The Gladiator.
He 1000% thinks that that's a character from the movie and not a real person.
This isn't madness. This is Sparta, said King Gerald Butler from the 300
Also,
Spartans.
by the way, it's Gladiator.
It's called Gladiator.
Literally every part of this is wrong in, like, a small, infuriating way.
Remember when Commodus says, "What is your name?" And he goes, "My name is Gladiator, not the Gladiator." You know, the most famous line when he does the speech? Gladiator.
I am the spoon from The Matrix, the character in the movie The Matrix.
So what's so funny is, like, he could, like we've talked before about how quoting Marcus Aurelius is like alpha level dumb guy shit because of the movie Silence of the Lambs. Hannibal Lecter quotes Marcus Aurelius when he says to Clarice, "Read Marcus Aurelius. Of each thing, ask what is its nature in and of itself. What is he does? He covets, Clarice." So everyone's just like, damn, the smartest serial killer in the world be knowing about this. Like, he
was Albert Einstein's dad.
And he can't even manage to quote Marcus Aurelius.
Actually quote the real Marcus Aurelius, who he thinks Richard Harris is a fictional character playing a guy named Marcus Aurelius. Yes. And the quote he does is, "Your faults as a son are my failures as a father." Extreme psychology going on there because, as we remember from that movie, Joaquin Phoenix kills his father immediately after he tells him that.
Yeah.
The Gladiator is one of those movies that he watched probably with his father, but on fast forward just to get to the scene where he kills a tiger.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Look at him. He died like a dog.
Not so tough now, Mr. Cat.
He doesn't feel great anymore.
The scene where
sorry, that's too clever for me to have said.
Your cereal's not so good now, is it, Tony? It's selling like trash.
That's more like it.
So, like, I know, they watch it on fast forward. They get to like the quotable parts where he goes, "Are you not entertained?" And then he goes, "Yes, we are very much."
It's so entertaining. It's wonderful. We love the show. We have to watch it.